Good evening, everyone. Tonight it's named Ingratitude. You would think it's going to be about Thanksgiving, didn't you? King Hezekiah was a great king in the kingdom of Judah. He was 25 when he started to reign, and he reigned for 29 years. So he was around 54 when he passed away. I got this information from 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 2. We also know that he was a great king because in 2 Kings 18, chapter 18, verses 3 through 8, it says, "And he did that which was right in the eyes of Jehovah, according to all that David his father had done. He removed the high places and brake the pillars, and cut down the Asherim, and he brake to pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it. And he called it Nehushtan. He trusted in Jehovah, the God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor among them that were before him. For he clave to Jehovah, he departed not from following him, but kept his commandments which Jehovah had commanded Moses. And Jehovah was with him. Whithersoever he went forth, he prospered. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not. He smote the Philistines unto Gaza, and the borders thereof, from the tower of the watchman to the fortified city." You would think that a faithful servant like Hezekiah would get to live a very long and fruitful life, right? When Hezekiah was about 39, he became ill. In 2 Kings chapter 20, verses 1 through 6, "In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus saith Jehovah, Set thy house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto Jehovah, saying, Remember now, O Jehovah, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it came to pass, before Isaiah was gone out into the middle part of the city, that the word of Jehovah came to him, saying, Turn back, and say to Hezekiah, the prince of my people, Thus saith Jehovah, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up unto the house of Jehovah, and I will add unto thee unto thy days 15 years. And I will deliver thee in this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake." You would think that King Hezekiah would have immediately responded with a heart filled with gratitude and thanksgiving for all that God had done for him. Sorry, not so fast. 2 Chronicles chapter 32, verse 25 says, "But Hezekiah rendered not again according to the benefit done unto him, for his heart was lifted up. Therefore there was wrath upon him, and upon Judah, and upon Jerusalem." After King Hezekiah was healed by God, he did something that was eventually disastrous for Judah. Baladan, I butchered that one again, a prince of Babylon, heard that Hezekiah had been ill. So he sent letters and a nice present to him. This might have been the first get well card, maybe. Hezekiah was grateful for the attention shown him, so he showed everything he owned to the men that delivered the letters and the present. All this is recorded in 2 Kings chapter 20, verses 12 and 13, and also in Isaiah 39, verses 1 and 2. And then also in 2 Chronicles chapter 32, verse 31, we are told, "Howbeit, in the business of the ambassadors of the princes of Babylon, who sent unto him to inquire of the wonder that was done in the land, God left him to try him, that he might know all that was in his heart. How often have we prayed about matters that have been affecting our lives, and then our prayers are answered in the ways that we wanted, and how do we respond? Adversity leads us to prayer, but we must learn to repay God for the favor that he has shown us. But there is good news. In 2 Chronicles chapter 32, verse 26, notwithstanding, Hezekiah humbled himself for the pride of his heart, both he and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that the wrath of Jehovah came not upon them in the days of Hezekiah. That's what we're looking for. Remember that King Hezekiah's life was lengthened by 15 years. When he died, his son Manasseh became king. He reigned for 55 years, and he was an evil king. During his reign, the Jews totally forgot about God and the temple, so the temple worship stopped. Solomon's glorious temple fell into disrepair, and the Bible in the temple was completely forgotten and lost. In 2 Chronicles chapter 33, we see that Manasseh rebuilt the high places that his father had torn down. He put up altars for the Baalim. He made Asheroth and graven images. He worshiped all the host of heaven and served them. He built altars in the house of Jehovah for all the host of heaven. Now, the house of Jehovah is for Jehovah only. He made his children pass through the fire. He was into witchcraft. He dealt with wizards. He did so much evil that God had the captains of Assyria put Manasseh in chains and fetters and took him to Babylon. While Manasseh was in his distress, he finally turned to God. He humbled himself, and God heard his prayers. God brought him back to Jerusalem and into his kingdom. Manasseh then knew that Jehovah, he was God. Clearly, repentance saved him. Now, a little basic math. Good King Hezekiah would have died at 39 if God hadn't granted him 15 more years and let him live until he was 54. Evil King Manasseh was 12 years old when he became king, meaning he was conceived during the borrowed time. He served as king for 55 years, so he was 67 when he went to sleep with his fathers, outliving his earthly father by about 13 years. His son, King Amon, was 22 when he became an evil king, and he was so bad that his own servants killed him after just 2 years. This paved the way for King Josiah. He was a faithful and righteous man. In 2 Kings chapter 22, verse 2, it says, "And he did that which was right in the eyes of Jehovah, and walked in all the way of David his father, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left." Josiah was 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 31 years, making him about 40 when he died. That was about the same age as what Hezekiah would have been at his death if he hadn't pleaded for more time. We control what we can in both of our physical and spiritual lives. We turn to God for all that we have no control over. I remember thinking at one time how great it would have been if I could have died at the same moment that I came out of my baptism. My place in heaven would have been certain at that time. I wouldn't have had to deal with all the push and pull of my life. Pretty selfish, huh? I didn't realize that all the problems in my life are tests that God uses to make sure that I deserve to live and to live with him in eternity. I am so thankful for the problems, and I pray that I respond in ways that show that I am humble and yet deserving. I'm continually thankful for my blessings, and I never want to forget to give that gratitude to God. When I look at what the Bible tells us of the kings, Hezekiah, Manasseh, Amon, and Josiah, I realize that their ages at their deaths, it doesn't really matter. In the big picture, what really matters is that we must be faithful to our God. The Lord's invitation is being offered at this time. God doesn't want anyone to be lost, and then also they will be cast into the lake of fire should they be lost. It is up to us to choose Him and do His will. Tonight, if you haven't been saved, you can take that next step. The men of this congregation are ready, willing, and eager to help you. Don't listen to anyone that tries to convince you that baptism isn't necessary. The Bible emphatically says it is required for your salvation. If you have other problems in your life and you need the prayers of the congregation, please let us know so that we can help. Let us stand and be led in song.